Did you know the first computer was over 30 feet long and weighed 5 tons? Now that's a far cry from the sleek laptops and smartphones we use today. Let's dial back the hands of time and dive deep into the early days of computers. Our story begins in the 1800s, an era of horse-drawn carriages and gas-lit streets. In the midst of this, a visionary named Charles Babbage dreamed of a machine that could calculate complex equations, the analytical engine. This machine, although never fully realized, is recognized as the first programmable computer. Babbage's vision laid the groundwork for what was to come. Fast forward to the mid-20th century, a time of global conflict and rapid technological advancement. It was during these tumultuous years that the electronic numerical integrator and computer, or ENIAC for short, came into existence. This beast of a machine, completed in 1946, was the first general-purpose electronic computer. But let's pause for a moment and consider the scale of this machine. The ENIAC was a titan, a leviathan. It was a behemoth that stretched over 30 feet long and was about as heavy as an adult elephant. That's right, it weighed in at a whopping 5 tons. And yet, despite its size, the ENIAC could only perform basic arithmetic and had a memory capacity that would be laughable by today's standards. And what's more, it consumed a staggering 150 kilowatts of power, enough to light up a small town. Imagine the electricity bill. But believe it or not, the ENIAC was a game changer. It was a monumental leap forward in the world of computing. It paved the way for the digital age, setting the stage for the technological marvels we enjoy today. So, from Babbage's analytical engine to the gigantic ENIAC, our journey has just begun. Imagine a world where computers are no longer room-sized monsters, but something you could actually put on a desk. That's the reality we live in today, but it wasn't always the case. In fact, there was a time when computers were the size of entire rooms and were only accessible to big corporations and government agencies. So, what happened to change all that? Enter the microprocessor. The birth of the microprocessor in the early 70s marked a pivotal shift in the world of computing. It was a leap from computers that filled entire rooms to ones that could fit on a desk, and eventually in the palm of your hand. At the forefront of this technological revolution was a company you might have heard of, Intel. Intel, who in the early days was just another player in the burgeoning tech industry. But in 1971, they created something that would change the world, the Intel 4004. The Intel 4004 was the first commercially available microprocessor. A microprocessor, for those who might not know, is essentially the brains of a computer. It's the component that carries out the instructions of a computer program, allowing it to perform basic arithmetic, logic, controlling, and input-output operations. The 4004 was tiny, about the size of a fingernail, but it packed a punch. It was essentially a computer on a chip, and it was revolutionary. It contained 2,300 transistors, and it could execute 60,000 operations per second. Doesn't sound like much now, right? But back in the early 70s, it was mind-blowing. The invention of the microprocessor was a game changer. It meant computers could be smaller, cheaper, and more accessible. This tiny piece of silicon and metal sparked a revolution that would lead to the personal computers we know today. The microprocessor's invention didn't just change the way computers were made, it changed who could use them. It made computers accessible to the masses, not just the select few. As microprocessors became more powerful, the possibilities for computers started to grow exponentially. And just like that, the door was flung wide open to a future we're still exploring today. What if computers were not just for scientists and big businesses, but for everyone? Well, that question sparked the personal computer revolution of the 80s and 90s, and it was a game changer. The 80s and 90s were a time of radical change, and the personal computer was at the heart of it all. Companies like IBM, Apple, and Microsoft were the trailblazers, each with their unique contributions. IBM, with its PC in 1981, made computers more affordable and accessible to businesses. Apple, on the other hand, aimed at users' hearts with its Macintosh in 1984, offering an easy-to-use interface and a focus on design that made computers feel less like machines and more like friendly assistants. Microsoft's role in this revolution was equally crucial. Their operating system, Windows, launched in 1985, made computers even more user-friendly. With a graphical user interface that allowed users to point and click rather than typing in complex commands, Windows opened the door to a whole new world of potential computer users. But it wasn't just about the hardware. Software played an equally important role in the personal computer revolution. User-friendly software like word processors, spreadsheets, and later web browsers made computers not just useful, but essential tools in our everyday lives. This era saw a shift in the perception of computers. They were no longer seen as intimidating machines meant only for scientists and corporations. Instead, they became accessible tools for everyone, from students doing homework to artists creating digital masterpieces. The personal computer revolution democratized technology in a way that was previously unimaginable. Of course, the personal computer revolution didn't just happen overnight. It was the result of decades of innovation, hard work, and a vision that computers could be for everyone, and it changed everything. Computers went from being rare and expensive machines to common household items. They became our workstations, our entertainment centers, our libraries, our connection to the world. And so, the once intimidating machine became a household staple. The personal computer revolution transformed our lives in ways we could never have imagined. And it all started with a simple question. What if computers were not just for scientists and big businesses, but for everyone? From desktops to laptops and now in your pocket, computers have indeed come a long way. The rise of mobile computing is nothing short of a marvel. It all began with the humble personal digital assistant, or PDA. These devices, popular in the late 90s and early 2000s, were essentially pocket organizers. They could keep track of your calendar, your contacts, and even let you jot down notes, but they were just the beginning. As technology advanced, so did the potential for what a handheld computer could do. The introduction of smartphones was a game changer. Suddenly your phone wasn't just a phone, it was an internet browser, a music player, a camera, a GPS, and yes, a computer, all snug in the palm of your hand. But how did we manage to cram a computer into such a small device? The answer lies in two key areas: miniaturization and power efficiency. As technology has advanced, we've been able to make computer components smaller and smaller. This miniaturization has allowed us to fit an incredible amount of computing power into a device that fits in your pocket. But miniaturization is only half the battle. These devices also need to be power efficient. After all, what good is a pocket computer if it needs to be plugged in every hour? Engineers and designers have worked tirelessly to create systems that can do more with less power. The result is a device that can browse the web, stream video, and run apps, all while lasting an entire day on a single charge. And this is only the beginning. With advancements in technology like foldable screens and augmented reality, the possibilities for what a pocket computer can do are only expanding. And so the computer continues to evolve, becoming more integrated into our daily lives than ever before. From 5-ton behemoths to palm-sized powerhouses, the evolution of computers is a testament to human ingenuity. We've journeyed from the birth of the first room-sized computer, through the microprocessor era, right up to the personal computer revolution. In the span of just a few decades, these machines have shrunk in size but expanded exponentially in capabilities, finding a home in nearly every pocket across the globe. Now we stand on the precipice of an exciting new era. Imagine a world where quantum computers solve complex problems in moments, problems that would take conventional computers millions of years to crack. Envision a reality where artificial intelligence is so advanced, it becomes indistinguishable from human thought. The possibilities are endless, and the pace of innovation shows no signs of slowing down. Who knows what the future holds, but one thing is clear: the computer revolution is far from over.